Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today for this definition presentation discussing PTSD. The military has been focused on correctly diagnosing patients with PTSD. On the other hand, is something that is not just experienced in the military. Imagine yourself as an EMT that has just drove up on a highway accident and discovered that the vehicle that you come upon is the same make and model that your loved ones drive. When you start to try to treat the patients, you see that it is your family that is severely hurt or dying. What are the thoughts that travel through your head now? Now think of the way that the EMT is going to look at life from that point on. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that is triggered by a terrifying event. Symptoms may include flashback, nightmares, and severe anxiety, as well as uncontrolled thoughts about the event, according to an article from the MayoClinic.com on April 8, 2011. In this presentation, we will have a better understanding of PTSD and understand that it is not a made-up disorder that some have called it, including myself, until I was diagnosed. Let us delve into the meat and potatoes of the definition of PTSD by taking a look at the signs, symptoms, and the treatment for this disorder. First, take a good hard look at what the signs are that someone around you or yourself might be experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. From my own experience with this disorder, I thought it was something that was a fantasy that shrinks made up to get a check. Even though my own case is mild, I found myself more distant and under things happening in my life as the passing of my father that I felt almost nothing about. Little did I know that that was a sign of PTSD. According to an article wrote in the Anxiety and Depression Association of America website in 2010, most people who experience such events recover from them. But with people with PTSD continue to be severely depressed and anxious for months or even years following the event. The next one is the symptom that my wife absolutely hates. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs National Center of PTSD, in May 2012, a person may feel jittery or always alert or looking out for some kind of danger. You might suddenly become angry or irritable. In the same article in May 2012 from the Department of Veterans Affairs National Center of PTSD, you may think the world is completely dangerous and no one can be trusted. All of these signs are incorporated together to make the classic case of PTSD disorder. When these signs are present in the people that are close to you sense that you need some kind of help, this is the time to act before this disorder leads to more dire consequences. Now that we have seen the signs of this disorder, let us take a peek at what some of the physiological symptoms would be with a person that is having this disorder. Clearly there are psychological signs of disorder, but what are the physiological signs? How do these manifest? Let's take a look. A person who may have severe sleep issues due to reliving the moment or having nightmares. In an article that was written on March 2013 by the sleepfoundation.org, a person can re-experience traumatic events, flashbacks during sleep. These nightmares can be accompanied by real physical reactions to the feeling of fear, such as a pounding heart or sweating. Next, there is the chronic fatigue that one might experience. In an article that was written in August 2002 in oxfordjournals.org, some veterans fulfill the clinical case criteria for illness resembling chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS, an interpretation that has been confirmed in several studies. Increase and prolonged irritability can take its toll on the body as well. An article that may accompany other symptoms that vary depending on the underlying disease, disorder, or conditions. Symptoms that frequently affect behaviors may also involve the body's systems. Anger that may accompany PTSD also has an effect on the body. An article in ScienceHowStuffWorks.com wrote in 1998, during anger, the nervous system is constantly working and can eventually become overexerted, leading to weakened heart and stiffened arteries. Since we have reviewed this disorder, now let's take a look at what the person can do for treatment of PTSD. Treatment of PTSD can take many forms that are adaptable to the patient, but some are but most are common are medications and psychotherapy. According to the MayoClinic.com, the article on PTSD wrote on April 2011, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRI medications, Steriline, Zoloft, and Prazosin, Paxil, are FDA-approved treatments for PTSD. Lastly, since I love the MayoClinic.com so much, I will pull the treatment out of the same April 2011 article that states that treatment of PTSD can also come from the form of several types of therapy that may be used to treat both children and adults for post-traumatic stress disorder. You may try more than one or combined types before finding the right fit for you. You may also try individual therapy groups or both. In conclusion, we have labeled post-traumatic stress disorder by the above evidence found out that it's something that might not be as visible as a person with an amputated leg or an arm, but can be just as debilitating. So you be the judge if it's a real disorder or make-believe. And remember the situation of the EMT that I talked about before at the beginning, and put those shoes on when you make your choice. Thank you.